And welcome back, everyone. Now, joining us this morning, Gale Lajoye, also known as Snowflake to an awful lot of people around
well,
here.
now, mostly the young people in town know me as Snowflake. But
right. Now, Gale, I can't believe it's been 24 years that you've been putting on this story. Could you tell us a little bit of background about how Snowflake started?
Well, there was a gentleman from town here. His name was Don Stenglein, and his nickname was Snowflake. And when I was in college and taking acting at Northern Michigan University, I always had in the back of my head that I would look at Snowflake and say, you know, one day maybe I'll be able to do a character about him if I was in a play somewhere, and I'd use that as a background. But one Christmas Eve, I was in town, and I drove down Washington Street, and there was Don walking the street, and I pulled the car over and I kind of watched him for a while, and I just started thinking in my mind, I says, well, what's going on in his mind? You know, is he going back to his room? Is he going to be alone? Does he have presents all stacked up in the corner? And so I just started to think about it, and I put it in my mind about a year later that I would do a show about him. And I started as a Christmas show just to do it for that season.
Sure.
And then we brought it up to Marquette from Minneapolis, where we put it together, and I did it, and I put it away for about a year, and I wrote a grant to redo it and take all the Christmas stuff out, but keep all the feelings of that type of show in it, and took it back out on the marketplace, and it just took off, and we've been going with it for 24 years.
Awesome. Now, do you run into people every once in a while and say, I remember Snowflake, the original man? Do you ever run into people like that?
I just had a conversation last night. So what's interesting about it is that I suppose if I wasn't doing the show, that story would have kind of disappeared.
Sure.
People might bring it up every now and then, but I'm always in a conversation about people who remember Snowflake. And like I said, just last night, there was a table of people, and they're all going, well, I remember, and I remember. So that story keeps, it keeps alive, and it keeps going. So that's what's interesting about kind of having this show, is that it perpetuates the story of Snowflake.
Right. Now, for people who've never seen it, they have to understand this is no words.
Yes. No, because I don't speak very well, so I don't.
Oh, you seem to be doing very well here.
Well, I kept the words out of the show because when I was working in the circus, we didn't say anything because you're in a large format. Sure. And then I had some mime training in a studio in Wisconsin, and then I just felt that what I like about not having words is that all the emphasis is on the character. So every moment you're looking at that character, and it's very important about all the body gestures and the emotions that are that you're displaying with your physical attributes on stage. But that way it just focuses down to the emotion of the character is what I really like about it. On the other hand, I always wanted to travel in foreign countries, and I thought if I kept the words out or any of the dialogue, then I'd be able to travel anywhere in the world and do the show.
That's true. And I'm sorry. I suppose also then that also allows people to take their own feelings with it. Yeah,
you really read into it, and that's what's interesting about the show, is that people come to it many times, but it depends on what you're thinking about that day or where your feelings are as what you pick up in the show, because you can read into it quite a bit, and it's really your emotions with the emotions of the character and where you're at that given day. Each one has a different experience each time they come back to it.
That's beautiful. Now, Snowflake, when is the show going on?
Well, it'll be tomorrow. There's been some stories out there that it was today, so please don't come today. I'm sorry about that, but the information got out there in the wrong place. But it's tomorrow at 2 o'clock. There's a matinee, and then there's a 7:30 evening performance. The matinee starts at 2, but we have Eclectico string quartet playing before the show. That way, if you come and get a good seat, you can sit down and talk to your friends and meet people, and you'll be entertained by Eclectico. Same thing with the evening show. It starts at 7:30, but at 7 o'clock they start. So I encourage everyone, come half hour early, talk, socialize, meet people, and then listen to some great music while you're waiting for the show.
Sounds wonderful. Gale, I thank you so much for joining us, letting us know a little more insight into Snowflake and the man behind it, too.
Thank you.
Thank you. And your TV6 morning show is going to be right back.